Stewart with the news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Beijing says it opposes what it calls US coercion in Panama's decision to leave China's Belt and Road Initiative.
中方对美国通过施压胁迫的手段，抹黑破坏共建“一带一路”合作的行径，表示坚决反对。对巴方表示不再续签谅解备忘录，深表遗憾。
Panamanian President Jose Molino said on Thursday his country will pull out of China's global infrastructure project after earlier meeting with US Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Molino denied that the US asked for Panama to leave the project. Panama is the first Latin American country to exit China's signature BRI. To learn more about China's relationship with Panama, Adil Bra spoke to Eric Olander, co-founder of the China Global South Project.
US President Donald Trump says that China has an outsized influence on the operation of the Panama Canal. What does he mean by this?
Donald Trump and his associates are concerned about the presence of CK Hutchinson Whampoa, which is the Hong Kong-based shipping company's presence on two out of the 5 ports along the canal. And now those are significant ports in part because they're at the beginning of the canal and at the end of the canal. So first and foremost, the Americans view this as a security threat in terms of the ability to move their commerce through the canal, their ability to move their Navy ships through the canal, and just the presence of Chinese entities, even though they're from Hong Kong, in such prominent places along the canal. Those 2 ports actually account for about 40% of the traffic that does move through the canal, so they have a significant presence. Now, this is a private Hong Kong company. It is not the Chinese government. And so the way that the administration has framed this is that this could be a security threat because they could shut traffic down on the canal.
Panama has now submitted documents to exit from the Belt and Road Initiative after pressure from the Trump administration. What is the state of relations between Panama and China, and how might this affect them?
Panama was a part of the Belt and Road Initiative. The government has now submitted the paperwork to leave the Belt and Road, making it the first Central American or South American country to exit the Belt and Road. The relationship between China and Panama was getting quite close. China and Panama established diplomatic relations in 2017 after Panama switched its affiliation and recognition with Taiwan to China. In that intervening time, the Chinese came to invest heavily in the canal, as we've talked about, but also in financial services, also in a number of different trading. I mean, Panama is a major kind of interchange in Central America in terms of financial services. It's a dollarized economy, so it's very appealing. There was quite a bit of infrastructure that's been developed between the Chinese and Panamanians on this, in this relationship. And then, from 2017, for the first 3 or 4 years, there was a very active diplomatic presence. They had an ambassador who spoke fluent Spanish and he was very outgoing.
What other effects might Panama exiting the Belt and Road Initiative have?
I think the bigger issue, though, for the Chinese, and the much bigger concern, was the forced departure from the Belt and Road. And I take a much more aggressive view on this than I think a lot of people are, that I think that the reaction that Rubio got among the MAGA base in the United States to Panama withdrawing from the BRI was huge. And that is going to motivate Donald Trump and Marco Rubio now to look through the 140 or so countries that are member states of the Belt and Road and start finding everyone where they have the same kind of leverage that they have with Panama.
That was China Global South Project co-founder Eric Olander. Palestinian militant group Hamas has handed over 3 more Israeli hostages to the Red Cross. Israeli nationals Ohad Ben Ami, Eli Sharabi and Or Levy were released at Dar al-Balah in central Gaza. The release is part of a ceasefire deal struck in January. In exchange, Israel will release 183 Palestinian prisoners. Hamas has so far released 13 Israeli and 5 Thai hostages. Police in Taiwan's southern city of Kaohsiung have found a dismembered hand they believe is connected to a series of suspected murders. A 73-year-old man surnamed Chang was arrested earlier this week in connection with the death and dismemberment of a 71-year-old woman. Blood found in Chang's apartment then linked him to 2 other missing women, including the suspect's sister-in-law, who was reported missing in December. Police have now confirmed all 3 women in their 70s are dead and are investigating Chang on suspicion of serial homicide. Taiwan's office that manages relations with China is calling for better cross-strait communication on tourism policies.
我们希望两岸的观光事项务必透过小两会，也就是台旅会和海旅会双方协商，而不是贸然的开放，避免观光的噩梦再次发生。
The comments from the Mainland Affairs Office, or the MAC, come as China plans to allow people from certain regions to resume group tours to Taiwan. Officials in Taipei have raised concerns over the potential overcrowding and inflated prices if new tourism measures are not agreed upon by both sides. In recent weeks, the MAC rejected 2 delegations of Chinese officials who planned to visit Taiwan during the Lunar New Year period. At Taipei's giant international book exhibition, readers and authors from one of Taiwan's neighbours are finding a safe space to indulge in written work. Cadence Caranta reports on the event ending on Sunday.
Inside Taipei's massive annual book fair, a small space showcasing the work of authors from Hong Kong, where an ongoing crackdown on public dissent and freedom of expression by the Chinese government has led to some writers moving to Taiwan or publishing their work here.
还是台湾这个自由的一个氛围，大家知道这个创作一定要在自由的沃土里面才能够有好的一个成果，而且如果在香港现在的环境里面，很多的创作者他不知道现在的社会环境里面，他是不是哪些红线在哪里，那这样都会影响到他们整个创作的空间。
Lu Changshui, who works to strengthen Hong Kong-Taiwan ties, says many artists and writers from Hong Kong moved to Taiwan after 2019. That year, millions of people took to the streets to protest a proposed bill that would allow extraditions to mainland China. In 2020, the Chinese government imposed a national security law, criminalizing secession and subversion and giving China a tool to further curb freedoms. Public libraries have removed books that could break the law, including titles about the 1989 Tiananmen massacre and books by pro-democracy figures. While many authors and independent bookstores still want to put out good work, fear has spilled over into the publishing industry. It's here that some in Taiwan have stepped in, with libraries stocking books removed from shelves in Hong Kong. One researcher at the book fair is also collecting other things from the semi-autonomous Chinese city.
因为一方面很多东西现在在香港可能在公共的空间慢慢在消失了，但同时候也有一个问题，就是在很多关心香港的人现在不一定能够去香港哈，现在香港入境也出现了一些困难。那么假如这些研究资料我们在香港以外也有一个备份的话，那关心香港的人可以来台湾做关于香港的研究。
And here in Taipei, recent books by Hong Kong authors are on display for thousands of visitors, some of them hard to find in that city.
This is just one of the books displayed here. It's a collection of photos and essays about the 2014 umbrella movement in Hong Kong. That's when tens of thousands of people took to the streets to call for fair and transparent elections.
The exhibit, organized by Taiwan's office in charge of relations with China, the Mainland Affairs Council, and the Taiwan-Hong Kong Economic and Cultural Cooperation Council, also hosted talks by Hong Kong artists and writers. Among them, 2 Hong Kong authors who have published books in Taiwan, including Chen Hui, who moved to Taiwan in 2018.
起码就是我不用去想，我写这一个东西是我要它会不能出版吗？还是我起码现在我不用想，我不用去想，我要修改一些什么才可以，就是比较可能。 让它出来，我不用，我就是想要怎么写就怎么写。
The talk also attracted Hong Kong visitors, including this writer who was interested in hearing what other Hong Kong authors had to say.
其实比较有趣的地方，就是因为他们2位作者都是香港人，然后他们是在台湾这边去发表他们的小说，所以他们其实有一个很重要的命题，就是当香港人 来到台湾之后，他们应该怎么去处理自己的文学书写？比如说，就是到底他们写的东西是给谁看？ 他们到底是给香港人看，还是在给台湾人看？
These questions, just some of many, faced by Hong Kong artists and writers caught in the middle of a crackdown on freedoms. Justin Wu and Cadence Quaranta for TaiwanPlus.
Hong Kong's name in Chinese translates directly as fragrant harbour. That's all thanks to the city's history as a major port exporting agarwood from local incense trees. But these trees are disappearing, and Hong Kong scientists are fighting back. Laurel reports.
In a small shop in Hong Kong, Aaron Tong hand rolls incense sticks and other fragrant products using a valuable material special to Hong Kong called agarwood.
And this one can burn for 15 hours.
Agarwood is a fragrant resin collected from the incense trees that only grow around Hong Kong and southern China. It's often called black gold for its worth and used in a number of high-end products, from perfumes to traditional Chinese medicine.
The name of Hong Kong is because of agarwood, so I want to keep this culture, and that's why I have this business, making the Hong Kong-made incense, as well as having different kind of classes of incense.
But finding agarwood is getting harder. The region's incense trees are disappearing. Climate change, illegal poaching, and black market demand have all devastated the population.
We have a very rich, healthy, and big population of incense tree in Hong Kong, so that the illegal collector from other countries, they would like to come to our local countryside and collect this healthy plant.
Hong Kong scientists are fighting back. Using the tree's unique DNA samples, they've created a database that serves two purposes: to help authorities catch illegal fellers and understand the tree's evolutionary potential, critical information for replenishing the population.
I think at one night, over 20 trees have been cut down by poachers, and we have to take actions to protect this tree in our farm. So that's how we started this project. But we're not alone.
Saving Hong Kong's incense trees has become a team effort. NGOs, scientists, and the government are all working together to protect the population, replenish the supply of agarwood, and ensure Hong Kong remains known as the fragrant harbor. Luffy Lee and Laurel for TaiwanPlus.
Subtropical Taiwan has won its first ever medal at the Asia Winter Games held this year in Harbin, China. Short track speed skater Cheng Ying-zhu took bronze in the women's 100-meter event. She was just milliseconds behind the gold medalist Lee Na-hun and silver winner Kim Min-sun, both from South Korea. The games officially began on Friday and run until Valentine's Day. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we take you to the annual Chingay Parade in Singapore. I'm Laurel Stewart. Take care and see you next time.
Oh, and you two, come. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Oh.
May the year of the snake inspire new beginning,
Bringing you transformation, peace, prosperity,
health, wealth, and all things wonderful.
Wishing you a healthy and prosperous year of the snake.
Happy Lunar New Year!
Bringing in the new year with Rattle and Charm. TaiwanPlus.